Hi guys, we're going to be talking about parallelograms today. First thing you need to know is the definition. Parallelogram is when you have a quadrilateral with both pairs of opposite sides being parallel. Now, as we look here, we have AB is parallel to CD, and AD is parallel to BC. In this shape, we already started attacking the idea of the first rule. So that first rule is opposite angles. This is a 90 and a 90, this is a 75 and a 75, so that means your opposite angles are going to be congruent. Rule number one, opposite angles are congruent. That little equal sign with the tilde over it, that's congruent. So then we talked about rule number two. But before we get to rule number two, I want to show you, sometimes the book's going to give you a variable in here. So 2x minus 5 will be the angle B, or angle ABC. And if that's the case, then you're going to just keep going and solve 2x minus 5 equals 75. You have 40. So x equals 40. What happens if it's 3x minus 6? Well, the same thing. You just have to set it equal to a term. So you now are going to have to sometimes set it equal to 3x minus 6. Same thing, you solve it, you get your answer. We went on to say what happens if the bottom angle is 90, and I believe Peach said it was all 90, and because it's a square, they're all the same size. So 90, 90, 95, x equals 90, x equals 18. Moving on to rule number two, we talked about opposite sides being congruent. But what about consecutive? So if you look, all consecutive angles, 75 plus 105 equals 180. 90 plus 90 equals 180. Is that true of all of angles? I think it is. And the answer is yes. Consecutive angles are supplementary. That's rule number two. Every parallelogram is going to do it. And when it's 90, it's special. It's usually a rectangle or a square. And then I put another example up, and somebody mentioned that's a rectangle. It can't be 70 and 110, so I changed it up a little bit. It is definitely 70 and 110 is going to be that way. Rule number three. This is the third rule, my favorite rule, which is if AB is 35, and this is a parallelogram, 34, then DC is 34. If AD is 2A, then BC is 100. So 2A equals 100, you got to set them equal to each other. Opposite sides. So look at what happened here. We have sides, you denote them with tick marks. Opposite sides are congruent. So tick mark means they're congruent, double ticks means they're congruent. Then someone said, well, what about those little arrows? That also needs to be included. These double arrows mean these two sides are parallel and these two sides are parallel to each other. Good work today, everyone.